I'm actually going to write a message in here before we start today, because I want people to know what's going on in case they see this channel or they haven't been able to come to the streams, because I feel it's going to be important, something like this, because once the moment's passed, once this video here has been deleted, once, you know, I've given people an opportunity to give feedback, they won't have another chance. And obviously that's the best way to do it, because otherwise we'll just be making changes to things forever and ever, and the project will never get complete. So we eventually will have to like say, okay, that scene's done now, no more feedback on that one. So I'll probably keep it open for a few days once I post it, and then that'll be it. It'll be closed then, so people will get a chance. But obviously, of course, you don't have, if you don't mind, if you think, yeah, that's cool, then you don't have to say anything. But it's there for people that want to have a say. But of course, as I said yesterday, nothing too drastic, you know, when it comes to feedback. Like, you can totally say, oh yeah, I like that, and give the positive feedback, but I'll welcome people suggesting any changes if they think it'd be cool, if they think it'll make it even better. But only really ones that aren't gonna take forever or completely be a whole redo of the scene. Those sort of comments I'm gonna say no to, because we've already spent weeks on this cutscene as it is. So I'm going to just write something in here before we start, and once this is up, we're going to start a new thing today. This is an exciting stream. I put in the live announcements today that today we're going to start writing the dialogue for the scene where the party meet the fruits, who are these boys up here. And we all love these, don't we? I think everyone's got their favourite. And it's been a while since we've caught up with those fruits. It's been, because we've been focusing a lot on Carol and her crew lately in the cutscene. But now it's time to give these guys some attention, because they're the first boss of the game, and we've got a pretty important cutscene to do before the boss encounter. We're going to be meeting them for the first time. The party will be meeting them for the first time. So I'd say today's really going to be a planning stream. Next week we'll probably be spending most of the week getting the dialogue and all prepared for the cutscene. So it's not going to be something that's going to be over and done with just today. I'd say that today we'll probably do planning, think about the sort of stuff they could say. Think of them as characters, think about what actually has to be said in the cutscene, like bullet point everything, an outline of what needs to happen in the scene, so we all know, so we don't go off track. And somebody, Battle Sandwich, a while back suggested that it could be a cool idea if we improv'd and me and chat acted as a fruit or something and like role played a fruit, and that's only an option if people want to do that. Of course, I'm not going to like force people to role play the fruits, because I know some of you are either busy or shy, so that's fine too. But if anybody at all was up for it, then we could do some improv role play together and be the fruits. I'm totally bags in Blueberry, but actually I don't know. Is Blueberry somebody I could pull off in role play? I'm no work pro when it comes to role playing, so I'd make a fool of myself, no doubt. But I think it's something that would be fun to try to get us in character. And it might lead nowhere, but it could also lead to some interesting dialogue lines. But even if we don't do that today, it could be something we could do at least at some point next week if people in chat were around and were up for it. So, role play through, yeah. So, yeah, Battle Sandwich basically says, it, you know, if you do know what I mean, you'd be like, I'm Apple, I'm going to be Blueberry, and then we literally have a conversation as them and role play them. But it would be so silly, and we'd make complete butts of ourselves, but it'd be funny. But I need some advice, because I have never done roleplay before. I think D&D's like the only thing close to that I've done. So yes, we'll be doing these guys today, and we'll see what lies ahead with this stream with the planning. But we're going to be using Draw.io again to make some notes. So this is where we write all our dialogue. I don't know if we'll start the actual dialogue bit today, but it's there ready anyway. And I'm just going to use this document to write down a bunch of notes. In a voice chat. Well, I don't know about voice chat. I mean, if that worked, I mean, I'm up for ideas, you know. I'm up for like suggestions by chat with something like this, especially if people actually know about role play. Because I'm, like I say, I'm a bit of a noob at it, but I think it's something that could, like a sort of technique, you know, that could potentially work. But we'll say, because it's an idea I saw suggested by someone in chat, and it's something I thought would be actually pretty cool. So I'm like, you know, bringing up the suggestion to see what others think too. Right, so okay, before we start any planning with these fruits though, I am gonna write down a message in the scene discussion channel so people know. I've already kind of got some of it written up. I'll make it a bit bigger so you can all see what I'm writing. I think the avatars are in the way a little though. Hey guys, hi Yasmin, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing today, Yasmin? Hope you're doing good. Canon. I've asked the question of the week on Twitter. What do you love about RPGs? And Canon said the waifus. It's so like typical from Canon. I'm not even surprised. Lol. So guys, if you want to get in with that, you can answer on Twitter, but you can also answer in stream if you do have a reason. I think the one that I have in the video, my reason, is a pretty common one. I think a lot of people have the same as me. So yeah. Nice to be here again. Yeah, it's lovely to have you back. Lovely to see cool person in chat that's been in the stream before. Oh god, there's a 2 o'clock in the morning tweet from the other night. Your 2 o'clock morning tweet? Which one, Chub? I had a minor surgery yesterday, so I'm doing accordingly. Sitting is a literal pain in the butt. Oh no, can you sit in any other position? I suppose there's no other way of sitting than on your butt, is there really? Not that I know of. I've never attempted any other way of sitting anyway. Right, so let's get this message up. I've got the fruits at the top just so people know that this is what the stream's going to be about today. It's going to be about writing the dialogue for these guys for a scene we've got planned, and we've already sort of got the outline written up for what's going to happen in the scene, but there's a lot of gaps to fill. Lots of well, we have no clue about any dialogue yet, but definitely we're going to run through the personalities of these guys, because it's pretty impossible to know what kind of dialogue to write if you don't know what our personalities are. So that will be a start. Some of you who've been here in earlier streams will already know them, because we've rambled on about these fruits so often in the past. But yes, I love them to death. I mean, I actually don't know who I prefer out the barrels and the fruits, if I have to pick. Because I think I've maybe probably the barrels just a bit more, but that's because they're a bit more fleshed out as characters at the moment. But maybe these will be cool when they've been fleshed out too. The one I was freaking out about, it was just on stream, famous now, Chub. I put you in the Discord as well. Everybody's like going obsessed over Woody, and I put your tweet. I took a screenshot of it because when I read that, I was just laughing so much. because it just makes me happy that you're excited about it. It just makes me very happy. Okay, so, oh gosh, where were we? We've left the channel. Okay, so the Carol flashback scene that takes place in main quest 2 is almost done. Between now and the next stream on Monday. Let's get the day. What's the day on next Monday? The 30th of March. Wow, it's already the end of March. Stealing my tweets. I'm only making you famous, chum. Between now and the next stream on Monday, the 30th of March, I will post a video, and I don't know if Discord's gonna let me upload a video directly, because I know it has like a limit, file limit, which is butts. But if that's the case, I'll just have to put it on another website and put a link to that website in here. I will post a video in this channel showing the entire scene. This will be your one and only opportunity to give your thoughts on the scene if you wish to. Once the video has been here a few days, I will remove it, and there will no longer be an opportunity to change anything. It'll be done and dusted. So make sure to keep an eye out. Now that'll do, I think. When I post the video, I'll probably put some more stuff to support it, but that'll do for now. I really just want to let people know that that's going to be happening, because a lot of you probably don't. I'm already famous, of course. I agree. I was by with my little the best twins in the world, Moon Shadow. Thank you for stopping by. It's so lovely to see you back on Twitch. How's things going, Moon? Did you get everything sorted? Because I know you said you needed a break from Twitch for a while because of life things, but I hope it's all ready and you're back for good now. Okay, so why isn't there an M dash on our keyboards? That's what I want to know. Is that an M dash? No. Oh gosh, I pressed a hotkey and it's brought this up. Let's go back. Right, one sec, guys. I completely forgot that was the hotkey for that. Thank you for the followers, Solo Dev Games. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. So there we go, guys. We made a new channel on the Discord, Scene Discussion. It nicely complements some of our other channels, which is skill discussion and dialogue discussion. And because we've been working on the cutscene for a while now, it's like 95% done. I'm going to post it. I'm going to let you guys have the opportunity to give some feedback. Nothing that's too big changes will be approved because it will be here till next Christmas. But who knows? Something small like sound effect or a little visual thing or a little bit of dialogue, if something would be more entertaining. Little things like that are perfect for ideas, for suggestions. And this is what I'll probably be doing a lot when it comes to scenes in the game. When we complete a scene, I'll always post them in here so you guys can give your thoughts, and just as we do with dialogue and anything else. I'm slowly getting back to my Twitch live, so to speak. Yay! Yeah, I'm so glad. It's always a pleasure to have Moonshadow in chat. Okay, so let's get that back to normal. And actually it looks pretty good with in big text. I think so. Right, so is there anything else I need to do before we start today? I don't think there is. I think that was the main thing I wanted to get posted. So we can move straight on to the fun stuff then. Here we go. So, Moonshadow is very cool. Yeah, Rexy certainly thinks so. I know that for a fact. Tackle hugs. I think Moonshadow is very good. Like, he says nice things, and us streamers need that, don't we? We need the nice things said. And you're a super friendly person. Okay, so this was our to-do list from ages ago. Let's just hide the fruits for a sec because they're getting in the way. And this is literally what we've been doing. So these grade bits are what we haven't started yet, and that's literally what we're going to start doing now. And we'll be making good progress on our list then. So yep, Carol the Barrel timeline. I'm going to just add extra stuff on this sheet, I think. So I think the things that we really need to do today is planning. And we do have an outline for how this scene's going to go. I'm going to get them back up now. So here it is. So this is what we've done so far. The current cutscene we've worked on has all been this paragraph. Carol Barrel confesses she has seen Rose before. The hero asks for details and a flashback begins. Turns out Carol was separated from her Barrel companions, including her son. Carol is convinced that Rose knows where they are and rages over Rose being unable to speak. Rose looks despondent when they reach the destination. So this is the bit, we're on the second half now. This is all the second half. What we've already done is the first half. And once we've finished it all, I'm going to be releasing another story so far video. And that'll like let everybody know what on earth's going on, because anybody who's new here or doesn't know anything about the game, it'll be a good way to update them on it all. I can say nice things too. Chub Canto. Chub's a cheeky one, just like his name, Cheeks. I'm really just happy being able to hang out on Twitch more and more again, watching what shenanigans Rose and Rex are up to. Yes, we're always up to shenanigans, aren't we? I am not cheeky. Cheek is good, you need cheeky too. Okay, so I'm gonna probably, because this was X's submission, and we're gonna use his submission as an outline for this scene, which I believe I said earlier this week. So I'm probably going to get all this just copied and pasted in here so it's all in one place, and then we can like bullet point it. Why does Draw.io do this with its text boxes? I love this web app, I have to say, but sometimes it can be a silly billy. Maybe if I do... I might have to actually write it in manually. Imagine that. There we go. When I paste as plain text, it's fine. So I'm going to hide the barrels because we're not doing them today. So I'm going to copy this bit in a sec, but let's get this summarised first. Is there any way to get the text to the top? Ah, no, never mind. I'm chub cheeky. That's why you love hamsters. Some people are just really easy to say nice things to because they're simply awesome individuals. Again, both Rose and Rex, for example, are two amazing individuals. There you go again, Moon. This is what I mean. Always giving us the compliments. We're gonna have massive egos at this rate. Well, probably not. When I don't even have an ego in the first place. I don't know if it's possible for me to have a massive ego. Right, so we'll get rid of that bit because we know that anyway. We'll only keep what's important. Okay, so they see a painter's easel. Is that how you pronounce that word, easel? Carol demands that Rose paints a picture of where her son is. Rose obliges and paints on the canvas with her blood. The group are interrupted by the monster at the Everblue Forest, where it's monsters now. And these are the monsters. The gang of fruits holding paintbrush was not what they expected. A conversation happens. We'll talk about that more in a sec. And then boss battle begins. And then there'll be more conversation after that, but we'll do it a step at a time. So Rose, my character, is mute. Well, she can do animal sounds, but she can't speak in human language. So she knows a secret, basically. She knows where Carol's son is. But because Rose can't talk, that's a bit of a dilemma. So it's perfect for Carol when there's a painter's easel there, because Rose can just paint to tell Carol what she needs to know. And she does do that, but they're interrupted. But Rose will be able to paint it after the battle. So at the moment, it was going to be where the sun is, but I was thinking of changing it to who took them rather than location, because I was thinking about the next quest in the game. I was having a few ideas quite a while back, which I haven't talked about yet. But some of the ideas about where it could lead to would work better if it was who rather than where. And it works with what happens in the cutscene too, because we know there was a hijacker that Rose jumped on and bit. So Rose for sure knows who it was who took them. So finding this person is their only lead to finding the cute little cookie jar again. You're always kind, always makes me feel appreciated and welcome. Same goes for Rex. You two are simply the best. Okay, I'm done with compliments for today. No, don't stop. Okay. I think they can go on the same line. I'll say starts painting because she doesn't get to finish it. So I'm not going to say yet what she paints, because, well, I've got an idea of who she paints. We've talked about it before. Chub Cheeks might, know a bit about this. He is a character in the game who's an antagonist that is probably the best antagonist to link to this whole plot that's happening here. There might be a second antagonist involved too, though, that's the actual spellcaster, which I talk about in my lore video, guys. So that goes into detail about what's sort of going on right now, what we're working on in the game. So Chub plus another person. Chub's like the lead, the one who gives the instructions and the spellcaster just does it for him. That's what I've kind of gathered. He's probably the best antagonist. Stop listening after that. And it was a pretty good... I actually thought that Chubb should have been the one doing the hijacking. He's armoured. He's quite, you know, he'd be the kind of character that would realistically be out there doing things. I mean, you could easily say he could have got minions to do it for him, but that's an option. We don't have to go for Chubb being the actual one that does it, but it could have also been a reptile sort of minion that he had. But ultimately, I want Rose to paint a picture of a reptile as for who took her son. That's really what I wanted to paint, because then it'll link in with the whole... We can link in the main story with the reptile war between them and humans. Then that can be brought in, because that's kind of... That was a key plot from the whole Lake Fall Village. So whether that reptile's Chubb or whether it's some lesser reptile who works for Chubb, we don't know at this point. We could always put up a poll and decide. But if it was Chubb, it could work, because even though he's armoured, Rose could have bit his wing, because we're going to have his wings out of his armour. We're going to edit him. So, because in the cutscene we see that there's blood. Rose jumps on the hijacker and blood splurts out. So it could still work. If he was totally armoured up, it wouldn't, because Rose wouldn't be able to hurt him at all. There wouldn't be any blood. So we got two options. It could either be a random reptile minion who's done the job for Chubb, or it could be Chubb himself. It'll work either way, I'd say. But they're the ones that have kidnapped the barrels, basically, this reptile. They know that the barrels have come alive, basically. If you've watched the lore video, you'll realise that the antagonist that cast the spell left them behind and thought the spell didn't work. He was wrong, though. It did work. But, well, it might not have worked, but we know at the very least it brought them to life and made them sentient. And the antagonist somewhere along the way will find out that they are alive, and that makes them panic and he's out to capture them at that point, because he thinks if they're alive, what do they know? Maybe he wants to shut them up, or maybe he knows that the spell actually did work now and he wants them back so he can do his whole evil raindrop plot and with the barrels and the containers again. So that is really why it happened. The hijacking wasn't an accident, it was a purpose hijacking. The person that took the barrels on that wagon took that wagon because they knew the barrels were on there and they want them. They want to capture them so they can carry on with their plan. So a lot of this isn't revealed in the game right now. Like what's on the lore video and what I'm talking about hasn't been revealed in the story, but it will slowly get revealed as time goes on, of course. Crap, am I going to become a vampire? Well, we haven't fleshed out vampire lore. We don't know what biting something a vampire bite does to somebody. Like the whole lore of vampires, we have freedom of what we want our vampires to be like in this game. We don't have to follow conventional rules and be like, oh no, Rose can't be in sunlight now. You know, Rose in our game is a vampire that actually can be in sunlight. So we've broke that expectation. That trope, we're not going with that one. We've turned it on its head. So we don't know for sure anything at all. Like not necessarily you'd be a vampire if it was you, but you could also be a vampire, or you could be looking for a cure because you're about to be turned into a vampire reptile. But would a vampire bite even affect a non-humanoid character as well? Because beasts might be immune to vampire bites. That could also be a thing. It's something we just have yet to know. You know, lots of fun things to fill out with this and decide. That's why it's fun. Hi Kindled, how you doing? So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. You chilling Kindled at home? Oh, a cheeky vampire would be funny. Vampire barrel. Oh God, imagine a vampire barrel. That's very creative. Because they're made out of wood, it just seems like so unlikely. And we know that Carol doesn't fear Rose because of that. There's a cutscene just before the flashback that we did where Carol sort of makes fun of Rose in a way. She's like, are you going to bite me? Like, you'll just get splinters in your teeth sort of thing, because she knows that she's just wood, and Rose biting her is probably going to do more harm to Rose than Carol. But, you know, maybe Carol's wrong. Maybe the barrels can get hurt from vampire bites. Maybe she's assuming something. I don't want to be a vampire, but this game is a democracy. It is. Anything that we decide when it comes to people's characters, like my character, Chubb's character, or any other character in the game, it's not us that gets to decide, it's the community and the polls. So whatever happens, when it comes to the poll answer, whatever tops it will be what we end up doing. So we've got a few potential ideas for polls just from the chats today. And that's fun, but probably isn't the time to put them up yet. But it's nice to know that there's an opportunity to put a poll up soon. Like, for example, who is the reptile going to be that kidnapped the barrels? Is it going to be Chubb, or is it going to be another reptile? And I know that we have Rex as a reptile antagonist as well, but he probably has his own motivations and his own separate motivations. He might not even know Chubb. Maybe they do know each other, but maybe they're like part of a different sort of faction and group as well. But I feel like Rex's character will also eventually come out soon, as well as Chubb's, because all this plot that's happening, as soon as Rose paints that picture of a reptile, it's going to bring them into the story as a race, and it'll just bring attention to them. All Carol will be thinking is, I want to find these reptiles at that point, because she knows that's where her family are. So I spent a while thinking about how we're going to get the reptiles in the story, because that was always something that was going to happen early on, because of like Falls lore and history. It all involves the reptiles too. So it'll fit in quite well, and I've got some plans of how to do that, and it'll all start in the third main quest after this boss battle. So we'll probably start all that once we've finished this with the fruits. We need to get this all done first. So they are going to use the barrels to stake Rose. Oh my goodness. Rose gets so much hassle in this game. She's been held captive. She's hated. She's so misunderstood. Well, vampires are weak to cow flesh, if I remember right. You can kill them with stakes. Yeah, I'll have fun fleshing out more vampire lore at some point, because it hasn't really been an opportunity, because although Rose is in the game right now, we haven't really fleshed her out yet. At some point, I can imagine she'll have her own character side quests where we get some opportunity to really think about her past and the vampire lore. So that will be fun, because she came from a farm. Rose was a farmer, and we've already made a farm map. So it'll probably be when we get to the farm that's part of the story will come in. Okay, but where are we? So, yep, who took a son? It used to be where they took the son, but Rose wouldn't know that. We don't know if Rose would even know where they took the son, but she definitely knows who took the son, because she was there and saw them. She starts painting the blood, but they are interrupted by the monsters. The Everbloom Forest, a gang of fruits holding paintbrushes and palettes was not what they expected. As you can see, these are the painters. They're the ones who the canvas belongs to. And then a conversation happens between them all, and the boss battle begins. So we're going to be working on all the dialogue up to the boss battle first of all. That's going to be the goal of the next week of streams, probably. Hopefully we can even get the cutscene started. That'll be cool next week. And the cutscene with these guys is going to be a lot less difficult to put together than the Carol one that we've been doing recently, because it's not an action scene as much. They're probably going to just stand there and talk, and maybe there'll be a few like expression changes and walking around the map and between them all, but the scene altogether will not be hard to put together, I imagine, compared to what the hijacking scene was like. That was a real challenge for me to do. It was definitely quite time consuming, but it's done. Yay. I just had a weird idea in my brain with someone saying to Oliver they need a steak to kill a vampire, and he comes back with a steak dinner. That would be really cute. My goal is to make Oliver really adorable and innocent. So, if there's going to be a character that does silly things, like that is innocent, then he would fit that description. They've all got their own personalities. They're here basically. We've got such a different range of personalities. He's the sweet one. He's the smug one. He's the sad feelsy one. She's the sassy one. She's the flirty one. And she's the sundayer, the angry one. So we got the same sort of thing going on with the fruits as well. Blueberry's the sweet and innocent one. Plum's the mysterious one. Lemon's the bitter one. Tomato's the edgy, my boy. And Apple's the generic one, but he needs a personality too. All we know about him is that he's the leader of the group, and he's probably generic for that reason. Leaders usually are generic, especially in Final Fantasy games. Look at Vaughn. Sorry, Vaughn fans. But does Vaughn have any fans? Probably not, right? Hi, Neffel, how you doing? It's good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Well, now I want a steak. Well, I'm copying any ideas that people have in chat because there's already been a few suggested. And as silly as they are, I like to copy and paste them and put them in a notepad file anyway, because you never know what it could lead to. And it's better to have some ideas than none. Right. So I've copied and pasted some of his stuff, guys. Little silly here and there is a good thing. Yeah, this game is silly. It's got a real sense of humour to it, which is to be expected when you've got a community of silly, funny people with coming up with all sorts of crazy ideas together. You're going to get a pretty crazy game, and I love it. It's going to have this sense of humour, but it's also probably going to get really dark in parts as well. It's going to be great. So, folks, what I'm thinking of doing is actually getting our fruits in here as well, just so everybody can see them on the screen, and then we can get rid of them from here. And I'll just put a brief description of each of their personalities, and knowing what they're like as people, well, they're not people, will help us a lot when it comes to putting some dialogue ideas together for what they could say. I am a fan. Brutal to tear off a bit of Carol to stake a vampire. What a way to tie in wooden characters and vampires. I know, I actually like it, I actually am a fan, and some of these plots are going to get so good. I'm really excited. There's already lots of ideas for stuff to come that I've got notes of, and even though it's not anytime soon, it's going to be fun to finally do all these things. all the time. A little, yeah. What, you a fan of Chub? I'm hungry already. And I just had lunch. So I'm probably going to have to get a snack a little bit earlier today, but I'm good for now. Right, so I do have a file, I think, with these fruits on. So I'm going to open it. Because if we can just copy and paste that, it'll be easier. Let's open it. I'm going to just hide them now, getting in the way a bit. The character you mentioned, the generic one, forgot his... Oh, the apple. You like the apple, Chub? Is he your favourite one? Okay, so this here is actually just massive notes on the battle. The actual, how the battle goes. Because these are the first boss. If you don't know, they're actually the first boss of the game. And they all have their own skills, and that's just all mechanics, but we don't have to look at that for now. That's something we're going to revisit in a week or two once we finish the scene. We've already done quite a bit of the battle, but it isn't finished, so we will be revisiting it shortly. Right, so I'm going to have to zoom out because I can't even see where they are. Oops. Oops, made Blueberry a big boy. I meant I was a fan of the FF. Oh, you mean Van? No, I thought you meant Apple. I thought Apple had a friend then. Poor Apple, no one loves him. I swear that someone had Apple as their favourite though. So there we go, someone likes Van from Final Fantasy 12. Chub cheeks. Okay, so here they are. I'm going to get rid of anything related to battles because... Actually, no, we'll keep them because it might help, you know, bring some ideas to mind, just having a bit of a description of them. So yeah, I think getting it written up first as a summary is probably the first step, and then we start the dialogue once we've got the summary. So we'll probably need to expand on what actually happens in the conversation now. So we've done everything before that. And we have something to go off. Let me just cross that off. We have Zexian's idea that he put in the Discord. So I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to summarise it here. Yeah, like if we know the apple does crits, he could casually mention attacking people in weak spots and such thing. Exactly. It just could bring some ideas that wouldn't if it wasn't there. So it's probably best to keep as much info as we can, for sure. So, right. So, start off. So Zexis, and we're going to use Zexis as a template. Really, we don't have to like stick to it rigidly, but it'll help us, give us something to go off at least. So I've got it here. You guys can't see it unless you look in the main story Discord channel, but I'm going to be summarising it here anyway. So we don't actually know how they're going to appear on the screen. All we know is that they appear. We don't know if they jump down, whether they appear from behind a tree. There's all these little things to fill in, like extra details. So that stuff can, if there's ever multiple ideas, we can always have polls on that sort of thing. But something I did when we did the barrel dialogue was this. This is all our dialogue for when we did the scene with the barrels. I had these red boxes, and I just used those to write in bits of some notes. So I'm going to just grab one of those as well. I don't know why they go so far away when I copy and paste. Where is everything? I think there's a paste in place option. I'll have to try that. There we go. My goodness, it's miles away. Okay, so how do the fruits appear? Do they reveal themselves? Do they jump down? Do they from behind a tree bush? So for now, those are the only two ideas I've got, but who knows, maybe there's even more creative ideas for how they show themselves. We can always list them. So that would be... Can we get an arrow? This is all going to be a really messy brainstorming session, you know, so by the end of stream, notes will probably be everywhere. Hi Tetsu! Eugene, Eric. There'll probably definitely be an opportunity to have loads of generic characters, but you know what I'm like. I like to make every character have a personality if I can. But yes, as long as it's not going to be something that gets me done for copyright, we're all good. Because there's probably, who knows, if any names have been done in other media. Right, so next bit. Right. One of the fruits shouts at the party for attempting to vandalize someone or their property. I always wonder why it auto-corrects to the one with the Z, you know. S is a thing, that's the British way. So we don't know which fruit yet. We'll have to ask that question as well. Which fruit shouts at the party? I guess it depends which one it would be more likely to, looking at their personality. So I might have to get the arrow from here instead. So it definitely wouldn't be blueberry, he's too adorable. I could see it being lemon or tomato if I'm quite honest. They're the most aggressive out the group. So that's my thoughts. Cloud Stripe. Oh my god, Squaresoft Tatsumi. They're not even Squaresoft anymore. Oh my gosh, look at that top 10. Tetsu Tetsu with that 10k. You guys are on the road to being a Leviathan now. I'm not even a Leviathan either. I'm like over 3k away from being the top rank in our channel. Sat on the streamer. Crazy. Oh, thank you, Yasmin, for that sub. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. Just some hype in chat for that sub. Appreciate that. Hope you enjoy the emotes and the double raindrops in chat. You now get double. Congrats. Thanks for the hype, Azriel. My rank got destroyed because of my work schedule. Well, no worries. You've probably still got a lot of raindrops, Kindle. That's for sure. I know you have. You're a legendary raindrop in our Discord and a character in the game, so you must have quite a few. Need food, back to lurking. Yeah, I hope it's yummy food. Let us know what you have. I put a suggestion up above, even if it's bonkers, Chubb said. Let's scroll back. Let me have a look. Right. They could all be in a fruit bowl next to a painting of a bowl of fruit, and then they pop out and yell, "This art lesson's over and attack." I like it. They're actually called the Dicavago. I can't pronounce it, but that's actually the name of them, and they're actually named after a famous painting of a bowl of fruit. So if they were actually in a bowl of fruit, that would fit with their name. So I'm going to add that there. The challenge would be making it work with the scene, because we're in the middle of the forest here. So would it look too jarring to see a bowl of fruit? That's the question. But who knows? Maybe there's like a forest object, like sort of something that would be in a forest that would resemble a bowl that they could be in. That could always work as well. I'm going to do it like this instead. I'm going to list it instead of they. Ooh, Azriel purchased something from the Humble store. I hope you enjoy that, Azriel. Thank you for using my link. I appreciate that. What was it that you got? I missed it. Tell us what you got, Azriel. I just make the crazy scenarios. I don't know how to make them work. No, it's good, Chubb. It's a good idea. So it's very likely we'll do a poll on this next week, and anything people say in chat will get added. So I want to try. I'm obviously trying to shorten it so we don't have too long a sentence, but I want to make sure we get all the details in that we want. Or something similar, you know. It could be that, but if anybody else has ideas, that's we could do that too. You also says next to a painting. I guess it just depends. We could do that. I guess it depends whether we want to have it or whether we want the fruit bowl alone. We could put bowling in things because we don't know if we're actually going to have a bowl. We might have something else that resembles a bowl, but clearly is a bowl. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it'd be cool if it was something that actually would be a sort of believable object that would be in a forest. But you know, it would, like, so obviously we'd know that they were using it as a bowl. I'll have to have a look at the tile sets and see what there is. And I mean, we could have other canvases around the forest as well. We don't necessarily have to have just the one easel. there could be a number of paintings. That's something we haven't really discussed, if we was going to have more than one canvas. We could all, let's get another, because at the moment we've only got, I'm going to get it up actually, let me get the scene up in RPG Maker so you all can see what it looks like. The arrow's been a silly Billy. Might have to make this bigger. There we go. It is going to be a mess. I don't care if it's not pointing at things perfectly. If it doesn't, that's fine. Can always tidy it up after. So, could possibly have a painting of a bowl of fruit next to them. So, right now, we'll keep that one. Once we know how many easels we're going to have, that could be something we go with if we got a few around. Right, let me catch up with what's going on in stream and chat, because I don't want to miss anything and I know I'm behind. So let me just finish getting some notes down. What was that some music software? It was music production bundle. I can't say that word. I say bungle. It's got a D in it. My accent's silly sometimes. At some point I'll need to look at that for e-development, the joys of working solo. Oh, that sounds good. Sounds interesting. Hope it works well, Asriel, and thank you again for using my link. That's super kind of you to use mine. A fruit basket. Oh yeah, that could be a thing. We need another box for ideas for what could be the bowl. Now we're getting lots of things down here. I like it, guys. What could be a forest object that looks like a bowl? And we'll put in, oh no. See, like, this is really cool, because before we actually jump in and do the dialogue, it's ideal to actually plan the scene and get it all up, like, first, and it's fun. So that's one. I've only put lemon and tomato because to me they're the ones whose personalities would shout. The others are more reserved, so it probably wouldn't fit for them, but one of those two probably. So is there any more questions we need to consider? We'll have a think. I just had to get the fruit bowl idea out my brain. Well, thank you, Chubb. Thanks for giving it. It's a good one. Also, only one should pop up and shout, and then the others pop out one by one. That would look neat, I think. I think that's a cool idea too, because too many introductions, when you've got like a large group of characters, having them all appear at once, too much is happening, you know. And we did a similar thing with the barrels when we introduced them. They all like showed themselves one by one. They all it started off with just Oliver, then Carol, then Meryl appeared, then Elvira, then Woody said something, and then Hank did after that. And it stops like too many characters being on the screen at once that are new. You know, it could be a bit overwhelming to the senses. It would be to mine anyway, and maybe to other people. So I think it's definitely a good approach. So thank you, Yasmin. So whoever shouts at the party first, they'd be the first one to show themselves then. So and if it was the fruit bowl one and they were all actually visible, then maybe they would just appear to be normal fruits in the bowl without faces at first, and then when they actually pop out and talk, they show their face, and then they'd show their face one by one that way. We did that with the barrels. You could put canvases around and have someone else subtly mention that canvases have been appearing since the spell thing, and then we find out the fruits have been painting a lot. Yeah, so these fruits were creatures that came to life from the spell as well, which is, I think that's pretty obvious if you watch the lore video. So it all like links in, like these fruits and the barrels, although they're like separate groups of characters, they're all like part of the whole sentient spell that's happened. So I really like that it all relates to each other. But I'm going to put what you said as well, Chub, in my notes, because not everything that's said in chat we can fit on this little screen. But I like to have it in my notes anyway, because I'm probably going to tidy them up over the weekend and add more. So you can refer to those notes as well, because in next week's streams we're going to like look at this again and that really make a start on writing the dialogue. I like this community driven approach, very nice. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, Yasmin. It's fun, isn't it? I feel like if it was just me and I wasn't streaming this and just making a game on my own in my room in the dark, we wouldn't have come up with even, 80% of I wouldn't have come up with 80% of the ideas that we've got, you know what I mean? Like, it's you guys that really help us come up with a really cool story here, and I'm hoping that we end up with something so really bonkers but amazing. That's kind of what the goal is. It's better to have lots of ideas and cutting them than having one idea and just go and get it with it no matter what. Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to like make sure whenever someone says something, we make a list rather than be like, that's it, that's what we're having. Because I always like to do the polls, like, you know how obsessed I am with getting the polls up in the Discord. So that's why when we've got a few, we'll just see what tops it, we'll see what wins. And that's what makes it exciting, seeing what ends up winning the polls. Because then you've got the true best one when it is the winner then. I think the tomato should be the first based on its emotion. Yeah, so he's rage, that's for sure. He's the Leroy Jenkins of the bunch, isn't he? The tomato. That's what I imagine him being. So I do definitely feel, I agree with you that it's more likely to be tomato, but I think lemon could be as well. So I don't want to rule him out just in case something works with lemon. So we'll keep them both there, but I'm going to put tomato first just because it's more likely going to be him. I'm just looking at this from the perspective of the gamer. Yay. Why would you have to be in the dark? Because I'm a vampire. Why else have I got such pristine white skin, Azrael? The dark is good, dark is nice, dark is cuddly. Yeah. So he's just going to jump out and yell, tomato. Chub Cheeks is Bagsying the tomato when we do role play. Because someone's idea, I actually put it in the live announcement, so I'm going to mention it again, just in case you didn't see. All of us acting as a fruit and role playing. And even if we just do it in chat, like it doesn't, we don't have to go in voice chat or anything, because that might be a bit daunting and a bit on the spot. But even if we typed it up in chat and role played, you know, that could work. But I don't know who I'd be. I always thought I'd be Blueberry, but I can't even think. I don't even know what Blueberry would say actually, or what his sort of tone of voice would be. You know, that's what we gotta think about. That's why I think improving them and being them, trying to get into their shoes, will help us think of their tone of voice, because I'd like it if there was all really different from each other. I don't like it when dialogue all sounds like it could have come from the same character, and when it's one person writing a story, I always feel like there's a risk of that, but when there's multiple people, you can, you know, a different tone of voice could come from them then if everybody acts as one each. So who knows? And that's not necessarily something we have to do today. It could be something we do next week. It all depends if anyone's up for it in chat. No one's going to get forced. I love role-playing. Kindle loves it. If you like D&D, and, you know, if you're into that, then you'd probably be up for doing something like this, I'm sure. I don't think I could be a tomato. I would like to be Blueberry or Plum. I can't be an edgy teen, yeah. Whoever you think you're more like in personality, or would be good to act as, you know, is probably who you should be. But honestly, guys, we don't have to do this in a super organised way or anything. If any of you in chat right now are like thinking, yeah, I'll be Plum, then just like type some quote, speech marks and some dialogue in that you can imagine them saying or something, or like start acting as if you are them in chat right now, having a conversation with us all. Like, just be them. Pretend the Plums come in chat and come in stream. It doesn't even have to be relevant to the cutscene or what's happening here. There could just be a random Twitch viewer. I'm absolutely a tomato or lemon. Yay. I'm definitely Blueberry, I feel, out of all the personalities. That means I'm saying I'm the cute one. Okay, so there's way more to write here, so I'm likely going to have to make this go even longer down the screen. We're not even anywhere near getting everything up yet, so by the end of the stream we can have so much stuff here. Let me just have a look at my notes again. Because this where it's got boss battle begins, that's way down, you know. We're nowhere near that. I also want to change how this box is writing text, because it's starting from the centre and it's messing everything up, the arrow positionings. I can't seem to find... I don't think any of these settings are for that, but I swear there was one. Here. Yay, I did it. Finally. Okay, so I need to change the positioning of the arrows though. There you go. I want the arrows to go in the section that's we might have to, just so we can fit everything, we might have to move this across so we can put some boxes on the other side, because it's getting to be a bit of a squish to fit everything in. So, did I just delete the shout one? I did, didn't I? Oops, let's get it back. I was meant to have just deleted the arrow, but I ended up deleting all of them. So I'm just tidying it up a bit, I'm going to keep the summary, the scene in the middle, and we'll put the boxes on either side, just so we've got more room. Okay, let me get into my role play. Come on, Chubs, become an apple. Yeah, it's daunting. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start either. So, and it's even harder when you have to pretend you're in the actual scene. So it's probably easier to just pretend you're that person in chat. Well, that fruit in chat, should I say. And not have any context right now. It's more about finding the tone of voice for them right now than it is writing their actual dialogue for the scene. That can come after, once we know how they'd speak. And hi Shirko, how you doing? We're doing good. It's a fun one. This sort of thing is always my favourite thing to do in the project, like writing the scene and the dialogue together and coming up with ideas. I always think that's really fun. So that's what we're doing today. We've got a description of the scene here, and we're writing any things that come to our head, questions we're writing in these boxes. So I'm actually going to say the party instead of they, because people will be like, who's they? So, and if you've kept up with the story and you kind of know what's going on, if you've watched the Story So Far videos and you've been in our streams often, you'll pretty much understand what's going on here. But I'm still trying to word it so it's understandable to everybody, even if they're new. So that's why I've made sure that I've put the party. That arrow looks a bit deformed. That's it, that's better. Okay, so I want to keep the fruits on view for you all though, because I want you all to be able to see their personality, of course. So I don't want to be off from that for too often. Should we make the text a bit larger? Oops, no, that's smaller, not larger. Weird, it's not letting me resize. I mean, I think I'm rather lemon. I'm very irritable thanks to my autism and CPD. Well, you can be lemon. If you like being lemon, then you can be the lemon. I think Lemon's a really cute character. Some people might think he's not because he's scary looking. He's an angry Pikachu, but I think he's sweet. I think he's a sweetheart. Because he protects Blueberry in battle as well. There's a skill he uses in the first phase of the battle that if you attack the Blueberry, he goes like that and he uses a sort of cover skill to protect Blueberry. It's so that's really adorable. So we got to also think of their relationships with each other. I think mentioning that now, because it's not just about them as singular characters, it's about how they feel about each other too, because they're a group. And Lemon is very protective of Blueberry. That is one thing we know, simply because of what happens in battle. He uses his defense ability to protect sweet little Blueberry. So he's like I suppose father and son, you know. He's the old guy and he's the sweet one. And it's also Blueberry's birthday too. If you haven't noticed, he's actually wearing a birthday hat, so that will have to be part of the scene too. And Plum, I feel like Plum's a bit of an outsider, and I don't even have a clue how Tomato feels about them all at this point. I guess it's up for discussion about how they could feel about each other. Was that a worm? I hate worms. One step closer and you will be the one cut into slices. I don't trust humans. They turn my uncle into Jews. Which one are you? You sound like a mad one, Chubb, from that dialogue. Which one are you role playing? What is happening? Who are those people? Hey, you guys, who are you? Also, where is my where have you found it? Good grief, nearly lost my mind there for a moment. That would be me, basically. I like it, guys. I'm gonna copy and paste that dialogue, and I'm gonna put in brackets who you was role playing as, so I remember. I was Apple. Okay, so Apple is definitely a hard one to roleplay, simply because he doesn't have as clear a personality as the others. So for sure, well done, Chubb, for being brave doing Apple. That's one that I'd struggle to get into the head of. And Yasmin, you're being Lemon, I assume. Okay, so guys, if you have any more, just feel like saying something, even if it's silly, you think it's silly, or you know, if it's random, don't be shy. It could go a long way. It could like potentially bring some good dialogues. Right, so because I'll probably collect it all. I've got my notepad file open. I'll collect it all, and it'll get brought up when we actually have do the dialogue part, once we've done all the scene planning. I thought mine was silly, but wanted to post it anyway. Yeah, of course. And even like, you never know, it could suit another one of the fruits. If sometimes you never know, you could think actually that one could suit that one too. So it could fit somewhere. Me scared of heights? Never. I was born in a tree. Oh yes, that's the whole being born somewhere is actually a really interesting concept. Now that you've mentioned that, Chubb, because we were discussing that the other last week, I think, and we actually purposely designed it so that, let me hide it. We purposely designed the farm so that there's blueberries and tomatoes growing here. So it kind of suggests that blueberry and tomato were born in this farm, but apple and lemon would have been born on trees. And the trees will be in the everbloom forest. And I was thinking of adding some fruit trees actually to the forest. So they were born in separate locations, but they probably got transported here from wagon, you know, the blueberries and tomatoes, and that's how they all met each other eventually. But so yeah, they're in the farm. We purposely did the blueberries and tomatoes here for that, to say, yeah, that's where blueberry and tomato are from. But apple and lemon trees for sure, because you can't, these are grown in a different way, the blueberries and tomatoes, to how an apple and lemon are grown. So where's our, here it is, here's the scene that it's all going to take place, and we need to actually, I'm gonna delete all these because it's very misleading for you all to see so many fruits on the screen. We're only going to have them there once, of course, but I was testing their animations, and that's why they're there bazillions of times. So however they're going to appear on the screen, we'll obviously make the scene so it's like that. We don't know yet for sure, but we've got some ideas. We've got one painter's easel here, so if we have one, then that will be there, but if we have more, then we'll have them round the area too. Some might already have paintings on them, and obviously there'll be a blank one there for sure, because that's the one Rose has to paint on from Carol's orders. So there we go. I just wanted to show you guys that scene just so you knew where all this was taking place. But yes, I've copied and pasted your dialogue to Chub. Oh, peeing an apple is hard. I just can't think like one. I know, right? And I guess it's just thinking, because he is a leader for sure, but it says that he's reluctant, which really makes it challenging to get into the mind of someone that's a reluctant leader, because that's quite a contradiction, to be a leader but to also be reluctant. But and I suppose that it explains why he's not on the front line in battle as well, because this is their battle positions. Tomato and Lemon have automatically become the front line people. Apple's like, he's in the middle, which also could show he's a leader because he's in the centre of them all, but he's showing he's not like entirely willing to put himself on the front line. But he's determined and he's dutiful. So he's a bit of a contradiction, that one. He's a mishmash of personalities. Front line or front lime? Oh my god, Arctic Mule. That is a pun I feel needs to be in the game. Because it's really good. So I'm gonna copy and paste that dialogue. Well, that pun, should I say, and it probably might get turned into dialogue. I love it. This game is not against putting puns in dialogue. We already have loads of puns as skill names. So, how you doing, Arctic? Okay, so where are we now? Do we need to? Is there anything I've missed out here that we need to put a little red box in? So we've got. Is there just one? So it's a few. Not that I expected. How do they reveal themselves? One of the fruits shouts at the party for attempting to vandalise their property. Just one pops and shout, then the others pop out one by one after that. So I put that in brackets because that's how, to remind myself, that's how they're going to be on the scene. So they're not going to appear all together. Okay, so the next bit is... The fruits suddenly take notice of Rose. The monsters spring into action surrounding the party. They thank the hero for bringing them the most important component they need for their masterpiece. Rose's blood mixed with the secret herbs of this grove make a magic paint which they can use to bring their paintings to life. So this is going to introduce their motivation and the reason why we're going to have to fight them now. And if you've watched the story so far video, guys, it briefly mentions, that Rose Fiona has ordered Rose to be sacrificed to these monsters. That's why we're here in the first place. And so obviously the fruits are going to see Rose and they're going to be like, thank you for bringing her to us. It doesn't have to even be in that sort of tone. They could speak in an entirely different way to that, but ultimately they see Rose and they know that they want her. They want her blood. So I'm going to write that down as well. And we're using all this as a sort of template. Like I say, we can always adjust it to our liking if something will fit better. Well, it could be said by someone to Lemon, and Lemon could get irritated and angry. I'm not a lime dang nabbit. I love that word, dang nabbit. You know, I like that a lot. I'll probably use that as well. I'm a lemon, learn the difference. FF. Imagine if we put FF as well. My good, I do like dang nabbit though, but probably not FFS. But it's funny. Maybe Google. Just imagining that if that was in dialogue. Right, so let's get that into. So just so you know, folks, anything that you put in speech marks, I'm going to take that as dialogue, and however silly it is or however bonkers it is, I'm going to copy and paste it, and it's going to really help when we start the actual dialogue next week, because I'm going to just look at all that's there and we'll have something to go off. Like, after all, something is better than nothing. So I'm going to put, there we go. So I'm just going to write the next bit. It's going to go super long, this is, so I'm probably going to have to move everything down. I'm just thinking of fruit puns now. Yeah, and if you guys want to think of puns, that's cool too. Because if anything like that could get fitted into conversation, it'll make for an amusing dialogue. Wow, your accent is so lovely. Thank you, Nop. I appreciate that compliment. Always like to be told that people like my accent as somebody that talks a lot on here. That's very important. Welcome to the stream, Nop. How are you doing? I didn't choose to be the leader, but I feel it in my core that it can only be me. Chubb, that's brilliant. That is something that Apple would totally say. I have no doubt about it. And just because there's a pun in there, it makes it even better. I like it. Guys, I'm really grateful to have you all, because this game is special because of everything you all come up with. It's amazing. I love doing this. And these sort of streams, what we're doing today, really show it the most. I mean, I like doing the other stuff, like doing the art assets and art editing's fun and all, but you don't really get into it that as much as you do in these streams. So these are always the opportunities to get super creative and think of things. Really grateful. Chubb, how are you so good at puns? I didn't know you could do puns like this. Goodness gracious. I think you need to get a job as a pun writer. There we go. I've always struggled with coming up with puns. I'll be honest, it's not my talent. I don't think I'm the most witty person. I think that I'm creative, but I don't think I'm witty. Fine, I've been working from home for a few weeks. It's a bit boring, to be honest. Yeah, home is chill though, you know. But it doesn't always suit everybody. I like working from home, but some people, I can understand you not getting motivated. Some people, because it can be very easy to not when you're in your own space. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Not we're doing some scene planning today before we begin writing dialogue. It's fun. We make a game together here. It's like I make it all, I build it all, but Twitch chat like come up with all the stuff. A lot of input from Twitch chat, so it's a lot of fun. I love working from home, no extra expenses, no one bugging me while I'm working. Yeah. So Van's like me though. Van's a massive introvert, aren't you? Extrovert. I'm like an extreme introvert, so for sure I'm definitely a homely person. I'm gonna go and get my snack now. I'm a little bit early. I usually don't get it until 5. But my stomach's doing a rumble, so I'm only going to be gone for a couple of minutes, and once I'm back I'm going to get the next bit written up, because right now we're not even halfway through this. We got a lot more to write about what is going to be happening in this scene, and it's going to be fun to potentially, you know, think of some things that could happen. So I'll be back soon, but I'm going to leave you guys with, especially if you're new here, if you're lurking, I'm going to leave you with the project command to have a little peep at our website. If you have no idea what we do here, that'll tell you everything. See you soon, guys. Hello everyone, I'm back. Okay, here we are. I don't know if there's dialogue in battles, but when apple attacks, how do you like them apples? There may be. It's definitely something that could be in the battle, so there's a possibility. And there's 2 phases in our battle as well, and the second phase is particularly, it's going to be quite dialogue driven, I believe, rather than an actual battle. But I'm not going to say no to having dialogue in a normal kind of battle either. So it's, I don't, we'll see how it all works. So I'll copy and paste that as well. There we go. Thank you, Chub. Right, so let's get the next bit. Okay, so here's my notes. Let's get it up. Because they're all appearing one at a time, we know that one shouts at the party for vandalising their property. Maybe one in particular spots Rose and he's like, how is that the, he might be like, is that the, I don't know what word he could use to describe Rose, but there could be one that actually notices Rose and mentions her. Because someone has to, someone has to. So who's the inquisitive, like, I feel Plum would be. I could always put that in a box. Which fruit sees Rose? Just something to consider. Only if he says I got her number, how do you like then apples? I think I'm going to watch that movie tonight. Is that a reference, Rex, then to something? What's it a reference to? Will I get sued for copyright? Because I always think like it's always really cool to do that and put references into things as long as it's allowed. How you doing, Rex? We're doing fruit role playing today. So if you want to be a fruit and you want to be one of the fruits in Twitch chat, feel free to. I've said pretend you're a fruit in Twitch chat rather than pretend you're a fruit in the actual scene, because I think it's more daunting having to role play yourself as if you're in the scene. It's more, because we're in Twitch chat anyway, it's more it's a little bit more easier probably. It's a reference to Good Will Hunting. It's a great movie. That line is to kind of see that. The soundtrack of Good Will Hunting is by my favourite musician of all time. Well, some of the songs in that movie. I've not actually seen the movie, but I've always wanted to, just because Elliott Smith sings some of the songs in it. And he actually got an Oscar nom for that in 1997, but he lost to Titanic. He lost to My Heart Will Go On, which, you know, no surprise there because it's Titanic. Yeah, so always been a movie I want to watch because just for that. But I've also heard it's a good movie too, not just the soundtrack. Okay, so we should watch it. Which fruit sees Rose first? A fruit basket. Plum. I don't think Blueberry would. Blueberry, I could imagine, doesn't talk much, but when Blueberry does talk, he's super sweet and adorable and just really cute. He's not the most vocal, probably. I'm just moving them across so you guys can see them because my face is in the way. I should probably move them down though because they're going to get in the way of the text, which is a bit of a dilemma because I want them to be seen on stream. Oh no, I'm not grabbing everything. I want everybody here to see the fruits. The star of this cutscene after all. Don't know why Blueberry's sort of so high up. There we go. So right now I'm just thinking plum, but maybe you know, tomato could be the one that's like sees Rose. But if tomato's the one that shouts first, then it wouldn't be tomato that sees Rose. It would be a different fruit because they're all going to speak up one by one. Are all the fruit left-handed? Is that a pun, Chub? I'm expecting with everything that is said now it's because it's a pun. Okay, so the fruits see Rose. I'll say one of the fruits. One of the fruits see Rose and they spring into action surrounding the party. Next bit. There's way more for me to write. It's a good job we've still got over an hour of stream left. They're all holding their paintbrushes with their left hand. Oh, well observed. That's really well observed. I can't believe I've not even noticed that. That could even be a joke. But I'm reluctant to shameless left-handed folk, so... But it could be a joke that's put in the game because it is quite amusing. I actually find that oddly funny. I got a bad feeling about that girl, Rose. I like that too. Why are you so good at puns, chat? I'm like here, being terrible at puns, and you guys seem to have a gift. So I've got so much in my notes, and I love it. I'd rather have too much than too little, because it means for Monday's stream and all next week's streams we're gonna have loads of dialogue ideas. It's really, really fun. It's really fun. But honestly, this is my favourite. All this stuff is my favourite bit of the actual game. Making the game. Hi Drago, how you doing today? Good to see you. Look at you, nearly a shower. Okay, so it's surrounding the party, so that's where we've got up to. Let's get the next bit in. And of course, as I'll remind you guys, what I'm typing up is just an outline. it's a template. It doesn't have to be to the exact. If anybody at all thinks, oh, maybe it should be this instead, then we'll adjust it or put up a poll and put both ideas next week at some point. Everything is very adjustable at this point. It's only not adjustable when it's already made and done and dusted. Pretty good, yay. This milk's good, by the way. It's cashew Alpro milk. I'm addicted to those kind of milks now. Right, so where are we? I keep forgetting where I am in the notes because there's a big, like, long bit of text in my notepad file. Okay. They thank the hero for bringing them the most important component they need for their masterpiece. Rose's blood mixed with the secret herbs of the forest, so they can make a magic paint that they can use to bring their paintings to life. So motivation revealed. The mechanics in the actual boss fight involves, in the second phase, there's paintings in the battle. And the painting that appears in the second phase depends on the fruit that's last on the field. In the first phase, the one that you kill last, it'll change the painting depending. So it won't always be the same painting. If you leave apple to last, the painting will be different to if you leave blueberry to last, for example. And we haven't filled in, there's still a lot to decide with the mechanics of this second phase. But we did say, didn't we, that the paint, what did we say? I need to review the poll. I need to remind myself here about the painting. The one that won the poll. So let me go on Raindrop RPG. Because this cutscene, this scene connecting with the battle is pretty important. We don't really go off plot. So I need to remind myself by what one won that poll. I got a name for that. Oh, is that a real name? I think I've heard that before. Maybe that's one of Rose's skills or one of her skill branches as well. Or maybe it's just a similar word. Because I swear it's been said before. Right, so. Yeah, the huge paint and high band. The paint in the huge time, yeah. Yeah, and the badass ladies won. So that's what they'll be looking like, the paintings. What should happen to the fruits after battle? Here we go. How it worked when all the fruits hide behind the huge painting. And it was C that won. The painting isn't alive and doesn't attack. It takes several hits to kill. The fruits use ranged attacks from behind the painting. Right. So we had two options. We either had is the painting alive or isn't it alive? And it isn't alive at this point, which actually fits best with the plot, because that if their motivation is to bring the paintings to life, they wouldn't be alive at this point because Rose hasn't yet been sacrificed. They haven't yet got the magic paint. So it actually wouldn't have made sense for the painting to be alive at this point, based on this template here. I mean, if that did win the poll, we would have had to change it around, things around a bit. We would have had to alter the story just slightly, but luckily we don't have to do that, because the one that won the poll was the one that isn't alive anyway. So they just stand there, these badass ladies. They're just paintings right now. They're not living ladies. But there has been talk about there being a future side quest if you let the fruits survive, or if one of them comes back for revenge or something. There's been a little bit of discussion about that, because you know, they don't necessarily have to die after battle. The player is actually going to be given a choice to kill them or not. So if you don't kill them, there might be an optional quest later on where they can come back, and maybe the paintings could be alive at that point. But how would they have got their magic paint? Because Rose is not going to get sacrificed. She is not. She lives. Rose lives. Just made it up. It's a word that could definitely exist, but it could easily be mistaken. Oh, right. That's what I was going to say. It's similar to that word, Chub. For sure. But names of things is actually something that's important as well, because eventually we will have to think of names for like lore-related things. Like the element that makes raindrops valuable, for example, that I talk about in the lore video. We haven't yet got a name for that. We just call it X, element X. But eventually we'll think of a proper name for it. Thinking of words now. I'm just going to add them all. Like I say, it's good to have them. It'll help when we put up the polls. Okay. I'm not going to put that in capitals. It's a bit dramatic. But you know, they needed a motivation. What sort of boss would they be if they didn't have a motivation that clashed with ours? So that's their goal. They've got all these paintings, but they're not. They're doing it for a reason. That they want to bring them to life. They're not happy with just flat, boring old paintings here. One sec. So yeah, they're definitely not innocent painters, that's for sure. Right, so there's more to say. So we are gonna have to move this lower, because there's a lot more to write. Let me just do it this way instead. There we go. So is there anything from that paragraph we could do a red box from? They thank the hero for bringing them the mouse. Right, one of them has to thank the hero. Definitely not tomato or lemon. Probably plum or apple or blueberry. But if it's Plum that sees Rose first, then it wouldn't be Plum that thanks the hero. They've kind of got to talk. They've all got to have their little bit of dialogue where they show, you know, that they're introduced with. But, you know, one at a time. I'm going to put Apple here too. I said Blueberry because Blueberry's the sweetheart, so if anyone's going to say something nice, it'd be Blueberry. A D&D stream I watch on Twitch is a custom-made class called an Arcane Chromat, so it gives me certain ideas for colour magic and stuff. Oh, cool. And it's always cool because I think, like, names, certain, like, advanced magic-y sounding stuff like that is not my strong point at coming up with things, so it's always good if you guys are good at that. Next bit. The fruits. Can't spell. I cannot spell. The fruits. Talking in turns. Explain that now they can draw a world where all the magical creatures of the forest can flee to. Okay, so hang on one sec. I've not spelled that right. Talking in turns, explain. Let me just read this myself first. Okay, so this right here is a big fat lie, by the way. It's not their real motivation, but it's an interesting one. But it's kind of their cover story at the start, at least. They're trying to act all like they're good. So let's get the rest out. However, further questioning leads to some suspicious responses. One of the fruit let slip that they actually plan to, let's put this on another paragraph. So this is where the real reason comes to light. And the battle's going to begin. Wow, we are struggling for space, aren't we? Shall we do this? There we go. Got a bit more room now. One of the fruits, let's slip that they actually plan to. I went to get a snack. Oh, yummy. What snack did you get? That will allow them to conquer the world, or at least the local area. So it might just be Everbloom Forest. With a final they attack. Okay, so there is some stuff to discuss about what happens after battle as well. But before I do that, I just want to make sure we tie all this in well together. So let's just think. I had a few questions pop up in my mind while writing this, but I've already forgotten them. And I'm annoyed now because I had a few. Let me try and remember. Hope you bought some for us. Heard snack, pull me out of luck. Milky Way and Blue Ribbon. Do you guys know those? Or are these only UK snacks? Because if you don't know them, you're missing out. Because I know them and they're yummy. Chubby's from the UK like myself, so I had an idea, but it might change the order of the scene, so it might be a bad idea. Well, this is, like I say, just a template, and it's something we can work off, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but I'm going to take in any ideas, any at all, because if there is an idea and it's a good one, or, you know, it could work, it could go in a poll, you know. So, like we say, it's better to have a few ideas than go with just one, and then that's the end of it. So, this is what this project's about. Lots of ideas, after all. So, I'm trying to remember what I had, because I had at least 2 ideas. Did I just swear then? I just did that. Oh, God. I had at least 2 ideas. That's better. Because I used to think swearing with your fingers was just the middle one. But some people do it with the first 2. So I don't know. Right, let me reread that because I might get the ideas come back to my brain. Yeah, so one thing I want to say is that we know that the Everbloom Forest is... It's become a violent place. One, because of the reptiles and what they did, the massacre, which we've really not discussed at all yet, because it's something that's going to come more into play after this quest. That's why I said I want Rose to paint a reptile, because we'll link that in with the Barrel kidnapping plot, and it will also tie in really well with introducing the reptiles as baddies into this part of the game as well. So The first one's reptiles. They've been a threat to the Everbloom Forest because they dislike humans. That's why they don't like humans. They love their fellow beast races, especially their fellow reptiles, but they hate humans. There's like a bitter hatred between those two races, and only humans live in Lakefall and the Everbloom Forest, so that's why they're a target, I guess. There's been some goings on, but it might not be black and white. There could be, at first it's looking like the reptiles are bad and the humans are these good innocent ones who are having their home destroyed, but there might be more to it, which we will talk about at a later day, I'm sure. So that's the one threat. But the other threat are the creatures, the living plants and the living trees that shouldn't be alive, but were only brought to life from the spell. So hearing this, that the fruits intend to make another world, or draw and paint another world. I'm going to actually say paint instead of draw here. That sort of motivation, the party actually like that. I think it's a good idea because it actually means if they're gone, then the Everbloom Forest will be okay and there won't be all this. It will get rid of one danger. But it turns out that's not what the fruits are actually wanting to do. They've actually got a darker plan. They want to actually paint things to conquer the area, the world, or just the area. We haven't decided yet. So maybe the one thing I'm thinking is this whole bring paintings to life business should be revealed later, like after this bit, because this motivation here is totally different to the bring paintings to life thing, you know. So maybe they should lie and say that they want Rosie's blood for this reason and make something up. But then it comes out that actually they want it to bring paintings to life because of this reason. So I think maybe that could be switched perhaps, just because it might make more sense. But let me read Chubb's as well, because Chubb might have something. I had an idea that Rose paints the antagonist before the fight, and then Rose is the one who starts the fight with the fruit, out of fear that she would make the antagonist come out of the painting. It flips a lot of the stuff, though. It's interesting. Let me just think about that a sec, because it is another thing altogether, but I'm going to read it to think if it could work. So I don't want to automatically say no. But it's interesting. I like it for the idea that it would bring that painting to life. That does make sense, because if she has painted a reptile and they want to bring the paintings to life, you know. But would that work? Because it's different paint. Like the only plot hole with that is that Rose painted it with her own blood, and that's not something that would bring that particular painting to life. It would only be the magic paint that would bring things to life. So although I do the idea's pretty interesting, it could be flawed for the simple fact that it's already been painted, and with matte paint that isn't the magic paint. Do you know what I mean? I only just realised that too. But it is interesting, and I mean, who knows if it could lead to somewhere else in the future? Because, like I said, that if you do keep the fruits alive at the end of battle, there is the option to keep them alive. There is a potential quest line where they could come back and do what they plan to do. You know, there could be a quest where they actually start bringing things to life, and maybe something like that could tie in with it, that they start drawing. You never know, there could be something anyway. But one thing I was thinking as well is that if we're gonna give the player the option to either kill or keep them alive, we need to make some of these fruits somewhat lovable characters, because otherwise nobody's going to want to keep them alive. That it won't be hard at all, because right now they're looking like chaotic evil villains. If that's what they want to do, if they want to conquer the world, they're looking like so evil, these fruits. No matter how cute they are, they're evil, if that's what we want to do. So I know me, if I was playing this game and I get the choice box come up at the end saying, do you want to kill the fruits or do you want to keep them alive, I'd just be like, kill them. They want to destroy the world, of course I'm going to kill them. I kind of want to make it a bit of a harder choice. So my idea is to at least make 1 or 2 of the fruits different and actually not evil, you know. Like maybe a couple of the fruits actually want to do this, the other motivation, the good motivation, but the evil ones want to do that one. You know, that doesn't necessarily have to be a lie. That could be genuinely what a couple of them want to do. And if from that alone, it makes some of the fruits good guys. And they're only fighting in the battle because they're a group, you know. They come together as a group, these fruits. They can't be without each other. You know, but is that believable to just say, you know, the fruits, they've got to stick together even if they disagree? Because realistically, say if blueberry and plum were different, it doesn't have to be them, by the way. But say if these are the good ones, they would totally be like, screw you guys, I'm going. Forget your plans. And it would only be these ones in the fight, you know. But we know that we're going to have all 5 of them. So for some reason, they're there. We might have to come up with a reason for why they have to be together. Because otherwise it won't be believable that they'd be fighting if they were good. You know, but I feel something like that could be good rather than making them all full-on chaotic evil, because it's not going to be hard to kill them. I know, as cute as they are, I'm not going to struggle to kill them, that's for sure. So one thing I might just alter that to like the dialogue to show that is the thing, but we'll see. This is something that could definitely be a poll, so I'm going to make a red box. So I'm putting that note there just so I remember, because otherwise I'm just going to forget if I don't. And all of this I'm going to go over at the start of next week as well. But no matter what, this motivation here should be revealed, should be put lower. Because they shouldn't be really revealing that they're doing that before they say the lie. Or even if it's not a lie, if it's the other half's motivation. So either this here is going to be a lie, or it's going to be a motivation of the good fruits. Depends if we go with them all being chaotic evil, or splitting the party to having some good intentioned ones among them. I feel like that could be a poll. Good insert, relevant time of day, everyone. Hi Lusting, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And it is afternoon for me, but almost evening. What about you? Good, yeah, same time zone as well for Chubb. It is almost evening here. So all this that is here at the moment is everything that happens pre-battle. We have some post-battle stuff happening. Let me just have a peep. Literally the post-battle stuff is just very short. Rosie's able to fulfill Carol's request, painting a picture with her own blood. So free of the secret herbs, of course. And that painting scene will happen after the fight, when the fruits are gone, because otherwise it's pretty hard for them to paint while the fruits are there. They could have easily painted it before the fruits interrupted them. Could have worked if we were gonna do that, but yeah, it's probably not gonna fit to have it that way. So we'll probably keep it the way it is because of that. Is there anything else here? They're explaining that they want to paint a world. Right, who is going to be the fruit that lets slip that their evil plan? I'm going to put that there. Which fruit lets their evil plan slip? Now, I guess we have to think who is evil out of this lot. Like, which fruit would genuinely be the evil one, and which ones would be the good? Because I know there's some people that think blueberry should be evil and it should subvert expectations. But I love blueberry so much. I feel like blueberry should be the sweet, adorable one. But is that making him too similar to Oliver? Maybe it's a good idea to make blueberry evil after all. My goodness, folks, there's going to be a lot of polls next week. That's for sure. So just all these questions here could potentially lead to polls. So we might have several polls in the Discord next week. If some are good, who should they be? Actually, we'll reword that. Who should be evil if we go with the latter? So I'm going to link that up to there. But I think it should be decided in a poll, really. Like, we should literally put all of them listed, and whoever tops it, the top 3 maybe, will be the evil ones. And then the ones that have the least votes would be the good ones. Probably that's the best way to do that. But before we even put up that poll, we have to put up this as a poll as well. We need to actually find out if people like the idea of some of them being good. Because for all I know, some of you might vote for all chaotic evil. I wouldn't vote that, but some of you might prefer that. And it's whatever gets the most votes that should win. Blueberry, it's my birthday, and for my gift, I want your blood. That is oddly very creepy. It's creepy, but brilliant. So... if Blueberrians are voted as the top evil one, or even second top or third top, he'll have to be evil. You know, we have to go with this poll. So I'm going to put in brackets poll, just so I remember which questions we're going to have polls. So that's 2 polls right there. Should all the fruits be chaotic evil bad guys, or should 1 or 2 of them have good intentions? And then if the second one wins, then we'll put that one up. And we'll find out just from that poll which, you know, who is going to be good, who's going to be bad. And we'll be able to have a better idea then of how this scene is all going to unfold, because right now it'll change depending on how the poll goes, you know. So any others that could be poll? The fruit revealing themselves, which fruit gets slip of the evil plan. Could be any of them that do that. Could literally be any of them that let the evil plan slip. But all these ones here would be polls that would be after, I'd say. I think these are priority polls, if you ask me. Those ones. Thank you for that host, Dark Knight. I appreciate it. Did I say thank you? I can't remember if I did or not. How are you doing? We have so many we've had so much cool discussion today. Lots of interesting things brought up. I think this is going to be good. I think it's going to be good, guys. So, right, is there anything at all I should really do before we close the stream today? I'm trying to think now, because I don't want to discuss the post-battle cutscene yet. I want to do that after. Because it's very... The scene that comes after the battle is irrelevant to this scene. It actually starts the next story arc. So, it's probably better to begin that one when we're more ready to think about the next arc, once we've got this one out the way. So I'm going to keep that scene to the side for now, but I'm just making sure we've covered everything here. We've got a lot of questions about which fruit does what. I'm going to change the colour of these ones because these are poles, so we'll make them green actually. I shouldn't say it's better in my opinion, because I'm swaying opinions there if we're having a poll. make those white. These are more like visual cutscene questions, and the red ones are character related questions, like who's saying what, and the green ones are for polls. And these ones might be polls too, some of them, but they're going to come in later. These ones are definitely, we have to do this one first, and I'm tempted to get this poll up for you all to vote on over the weekend, because this is the last stream of the week, and I'm tempted. I usually am reluctant to get polls in when it's so close to the end of stream, because I feel like there's not really a chance for people to get the votes in. But I feel like I might do it this time, because we can review it on Monday's stream, the answer, and then we can close it quite early, and then we can immediately put this poll in if the second choice wins the poll, that is. It'll be just nice to get it done and dusted, this poll, because until we do that, it's hard to really plan the scene properly without knowing what the motivations of these fruits are. So I'm gonna get that poll up now, actually, guys, so be ready to vote, because there's gonna be a poll before the end of the stream. And also I'm gonna have to save this notepad file because don't want to lose it. There's too much good stuff in this. Fruit discussion rambles. There we go. Fruit discussion rambles. Okay, so I think we got time. Right, here we go. So let me remind myself how I sort this out. Who should be the other? I should probably put a picture of the fruits in the poll channel, actually, just for some context. So what I'm going to do, I think there might already be one in my documents. So let's have a look. Pretty sure I've got a picture of the fruits somewhere. Here they are. Is the one without the background now? Print screen. Let's get Photoshop up and get an image saved. It's going to be a quick enough poll to get up. Just gotta have an image for context, because some people will be like, who are the fruits? Oh yeah, it's Photoshop. I just took a screenshot. We'll keep it the same. Is that the Discord colour as well? Print screen. Slight difference. So I like the background to match with Discord because I'm a fuss pot. I don't think it's gonna let me. But it's fine, we can do it this way instead. The lines are a bit gross though. Let's put anti-alias on. Don't like that with pixel art, but with vector art like this, you need it really. There they are. So let's get that saved. And put it in the folder so we don't lose it, because my problem is I have these in too many different folders and I forget what folder they're in. That's why I lose them. So Discord. There we go. So at least we got context now. And as for the question, let's have a look. So should all the fruits be chaotic, evil, bad guys, or should one or two of them have good intentions? Right, I think that's probably fine as a title. And then it'd be simple, yes or no. No, because then, you know, yes to what? Should all... Right. What direction should we take the fruits? They should all be chaotic, evil, bad guys. One or two should have good intentions. Something like that could work. Okay, poll. What direction should we take the fruits plot-wise or character-wise? Does that make sense, plot-wise? I think it has a dash in between. So what direction should we take the fruits plot-wise? And the options are... They should be chaotic, they should all be Captain Evil villains, or one or two of them should have good intentions. There we go. Sorry being no cloud today. Let's work even when working from home. Enjoy your weekend. Need to go give my wife a break from the kids. Oh, Azriel, well, lurking, that means everything to me, so thank you. I understand. People get busy, but I super appreciate the lurk. And just so you know, Azriel, we are getting a poll up, so whenever you get a moment later this weekend or whenever, feel free to put a vote in. It's going to be up until Monday's stream, so you've got time. But have an awesome weekend, and I hope the kiddies are doing well. Yay! Have a good day, have a good weekend. I can't believe how fast this stream's gone. Have I worded this correctly? One or two of them should have good names. Yeah, I put villains instead of bad guys because it's a little bit, just sounds a little bit better. So, and I've put notes here, but I don't think we need to put them on the poll, you know. I think we got to keep the poll simple, so I'm not going to add anything else. Okay, so I think that's fine. I don't think there's any typos. What direction should we take the fruits plot-wise? They should all be chaotic evil villains. One of the two of them should have good intentions. So depending on what wins, we might have another poll to follow that. But if A wins, then we won't need another poll. But obviously if B wins, we're gonna have to put another poll up on Monday of which ones are gonna be the evil ones. And whoever tops the votes will be the evil ones. Even if Blueberry tops the votes, then he'll have to be evil. So guys, we've got another poll. I'm gonna exclamation mark poll. So get your votes in. It's open until Monday. I'm gonna actually put that so people know. Monday the 30th, that's correct. The poll will close Okay, so usually I never put polls up this late because I know that they're not going to get the votes in like 10 minutes compared to if I put them up at the start of stream. They'll get more votes, but it doesn't really matter in this case because it's going to be open a little bit longer anyway. So yay, I'm excited to see what wins. So that's there. But get voting, folks. Get voting on the poll. And yeah, so we'll see on Monday if we have another poll up. I'm going to just edit the rewording of this because no matter what, this motivation does need to be brought down. Well, technically, painting a world is still, you know, that could still fit with that motivation, right? Thinking about it. I didn't see it like, you know, I saw it more as bringing beings to life as not as much as paint a world. But it's true, if they paint a world, that'll also be brought to life. So that does actually work, thinking about it. It just would have to be worded in a way that they're making it sound, you know, that it's for that purpose. I don't need to put that there now, it's not necessary. I've got it bolded anyway. Yeah, so depending on whether they're all evil or some of them are, one or two of them are good, it would change. This part here is these last would depend on, you know, if the good ones would want to do this one and the bad ones would do this, want to do this one. So there's a split motivation. But most of all, we need to have if some of them are good, we have to have a reason why they're there in the fight when they're good. When they're on our side, why would be in the fight. But I think that we could easily come up with a law reason with them both all being fruits together or something that they need to stay together, or anything similar, if that is the case. But I'm talking like this, and you know, you guys might vote for them all to be villains. You know, yeah, it's already got a 1, so that might end up winning the poll anyway. And then all this talk about some of them being good might not even be important. But honestly, guys, is it bad that if they are all villains, that I want to throw it out the window to keep some of them alive? I know I shouldn't, because that was a poll, but I think it just makes it not really that big a deal. Like, it doesn't, like, I know I'll kill them, no question, if they're all evil. Why would I keep some alive if they're evil? But I suppose that's the point of this game. You as a player could be evil yourself. I mean, you know, you can lack compassion, and that's why you might do some bad deeds. So if you're evil yourself as a hero, you'd be like, yeah, I'll keep them alive. So I actually kind of get that, thinking about it. So it doesn't really matter what wins. It's honestly what the community prefer, and you know, it could go either way, I guess we'll say. So yeah, I think they should all be evil. I guess we'll see, won't we, Chub? Have you got a reason for why you'd like them all to be evil in particular? Or I'm always interested to know if there's a reason. But I think I've said my reason, but who knows, could be a really good reason why people want to keep them evil too. My reason was simply because it'll be a harder choice at the end of the battle to kill them if some are good. But because I think you're with me, like, the people who would keep them alive would be the players who wanted to cause chaos on purpose, you know. So but I'm seeing it as more of an area with greys, I guess, from my perspective of having some of them be not bad. So I guess it depends what style people like the most. But I'm excited to be peeking at these polls. So this poll over the weekend and seeing what gets it. So I'm not sure whether it will get many votes because we're going offline soon, and I might need to definitely remind people at the start of Monday's stream and at least give people a chance to vote then. So it probably won't shut straight away on Monday. And also, we got this too. I have got to make it a goal to get that cutscene in there, but it will be open for a few days, at least, once this cutscene is posted. I won't be closing it too fast. And obviously, if there are anything to add or change, which likely there will be because I haven't even finished the ending of the cutscene yet, we'll revisit that, or I'll just do it off stream. Because I'm liking focusing on the fruits now for a change. It changes things up, and that's always exciting. So folks, one sec, guys. So I'm going to drop us off at someone's stream today because we've got a bit of time. A little bit earlier. When we finish a few minutes before 6, we get a bit of extra time to raise somebody. I'm not in as much as a rush, so exclamation mark raid, guys. Say hello. We're going to go to a nice person and give them some love. Today it's going to be Finchfish, so she's playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. So let's do it. And I've had a blast today. It's been a really fun one. I always find these kind of streams fun, and I've got all the notes. Everything everyone said had been saved. It won't be forgotten, and we'll be revisiting these awesome notes we made. First thing on Monday, we'll be just fleshing it out even more and beginning some dialogue. All going well. I think we've got the planning of the outline of the scene now. Opportunity for some polls as well. But I'll head off now, folks. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you on Monday.